It's warm, mellow olive, sugary, frozen with thunder, a flower napweed. A wind bursting frames, oh, it never could dream. An eye of little ballerina getting up on the tarantula smoke beak on her toe, full with the weight of her dance, tides and dance. It's just first piece of this pretty big poem, I believe, enough.
So let me read the next four readers. We have Steve Anderson, Kevin Reinhardt, Lucy Lee Gray, Garrett Murphy, and then Wendy Walters, our Fincher closer, super duper hyper speed bulldozer. So Steve, come on up.
While you're reading.
Let me just set this microphone quickly.
No, I'm very distracted.
Yeah. Here we go. Come on, round of applause, people. Start it up here.
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here. I wish I were a poet, you know, a poet and didn't know it. But actually, I'm a stand-up comedian, and I'm here to tell some jokes this evening, hopefully to cheer you up, get you inspired to tell jokes or do stand-up comedy, whatever you want to do. All right. So my first joke is, you know what Freud's wife wore under her dress? Yeah, Freudian slip. She got it. You know what Jung's wife wore under her dress?
I don't know.
A Jungian gown. A Jungian gown. Next is my imitation of Bullwinkle. Bullwinkle the Moose, I'm sure you've heard of him.
Gotta be on the mic again.
Oh yeah, Bullwinkle the Moose. Some of the time of year when I slow down the highways and open up the detours are lucky. Am I all right? Can you hear me?
And closer. I can't hear you.
All right, sure. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Next is my imitation of Gomer Pyle. Hi, my name's Gomer Pyle. You missing sight. I'm just one of you think Sergeant Vincent Carter. This patient says to a psychiatrist, "Doctor, the medicine you give me makes me shake." And the doctor said, "Well, I'll increase your dose." Okay, another one here. This patient says to the psychiatrist, he goes, "I have a Christ complex, and I think that people want to crucify me." The psychiatrist says, "Well, we'll set you up." The patient says, "Oh, please don't say that." Did you hear the latest? I'll tell you later. I'll tell you tomorrow. All right. This man said to the weatherman, "How's the weather?" And the weatherman replied, "I haven't the foggiest." Did you hear about the caregiver that passed away? Nobody cared. Let's see. This professor says to Einstein, "Dr. Einstein." Einstein says, "I'm not Jewish. By the way, it's pronounced Einstein."
Thank you. Steve Anderson. And now, our traveling, the person who probably came here from the farthest distance, Kevin Reinhardt. Bring him on up here. And recently played before Garrett and Wendy. So, like I said, give a little, tell them who you are, where you come from.
Hello, I'm Kevin Reinhardt. and I'm from London in the UK. I've been here with my wife Lucy at Sacred Grounds.
Lucy, thank you.
We've been coming to Sacred Grounds on and off for about 7 years. Yeah. Usually once every 2 years, so whenever in San Francisco we come over and take part, and it's a lovely place. We always make it part of our holiday. I need a quick favour from you guys. I'm Kevin Reinhardt, and this is Christopher Reinhardt, and he's 40 today. So I'm going to film just everybody here, if you could help me, just saying happy birthday Chris, and I'm going to send it to him so that we send him some birthday wishes from San Francisco. Absolutely.
Oh, perfect.
Dan, I will pay. We could sing out. Yeah, go on, let's do that. Okay, it's Chris.
Chris, happy birthday, Chris. Okay, everybody,
Happy birthday came off copy
2.
today.
No way.
Okay, go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you.
And if you didn't hear him, it did come off copyright today. They
No way.
longer
It
get
did.
paid.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's fantastic.
It's public domain.
Wow.
So,
So, Cafe International's off the hook.
right. So, okay. First poem. So, a friend of mine and I went to a rock club to see a band do cover versions of Neil Young songs, and this is what happened. It's called Tribute to Neil Young. She went for the disabled pool player who was taking a bit too long over his shot. But I wasn't a disabled pool player, so I did nothing. She went for the Michael Monroe clone in bandana and mascara, but my allergy to peroxide aside, my thighs aren't even in the same zip code as his jeans, so I did nothing. She went for the 50-year-old Motorhead fan with pigtails, but the half of our marriage that would stand for Lemmy was back in London, trying on a variety of hats and silk scarves, so I did nothing. She went for the Welsh lawyer and glasses. I went for a cigarette. By the time she started pulling the hair off the rock chick who was leaning back, elbows on the bar, chest out, the band on stage might as well have been Big Star. When they started like a hurricane, she was nowhere to be seen, amidst the broken glass, vomit, and screaming prom queens of either sex. One from San Francisco. It's called San Francisco Bus Ride. From the book Birdworld. Cursing the driver whose sudden stop-start aggravates my already fragile hangover. A woman of imposing frame, partly due to the numerous layers of clothing bought at Market in Valencia. On her shoulder, a Persian cat, dressed as a biker, complete with leather cap and studded collar. She must have been their ages before I looked up, only to see her staring down at me with the ominous quiet before the storm of, "What you doing in my seat? Who said you could sit in my seat? Do you know what I had to go through to get that seat? You get on out of my seat before I say Billy here on you." At which point the cat shoots me a well-timed sneer, somewhere between Billy Idol and Elvis Presley. I get up, make good with my apology. The bus stops. I alight at Rosa Parks Boulevard. And finally, we're going south. We're going south, everybody.
Oh boy.
Before we came here this week, we were in New Orleans for the weekend. And this is what happened in New Orleans. It's called Go To the Voodoo That You Do. Newly arrived in New Orleans following a 14-hour flight, my body dictates that I am up at 3:30 a.m. after a sleep that can be measured in minutes. I check in vain, shake the pillow, Sadly, it is empty of sleep, so I am resigned to heading out at such an hour. Silently, I wish not to stir my wife's serenity as she lays there, hands clasped across her breast, cool and still as the marble she may well as be laid out on. I shall find a magnolia to place between her fingertips, to find out what her sense of humour is like after a sound night's sleep. Walking barefoot on the embers of the night before heightens my awareness of the nocturnal around me. I take in Lafayette Cemetery, envy at its hushed slumber, where even the undead seem to have had a better night's rest than I have. The dimly lit 24-hour bar frequented by vampires, who take refuge not from the impending dawn, but joggers, whose self-righteous self-mindedness threatened to stake right through them. And the Chinese laundromat manned by a solitary old lady, diligently working through a succession of black capes. But the real black magic in this town belongs to the sun, a friend to nobody. At its height, it rains down death rays of annihilating heat, indiscriminate and without conscience for those withering unfortunates caught straying from the pack in a no-man's land without shade. Its intensity is enough to open the portal to hell, known to locals as Bourbon Street, where the screaming of the damned runs into eternity. The constipated men who moan about Mustang Sally, and God knows, and I'd like it to stay this way, what they're doing to the women who are forced to scream like Mariah Carey. Seeking solace amongst the numerous psychics and tarot readers in Jackson Square amounts to little more than mocking folly, and only serves to exacerbate any heat-induced paranoia. My friend, peeling an orange is like kissing the wings off a squirrel. And if you can't find your teeth, that's because your dead grandmother has them. If you want them back, you head on over to Lucky Pierre's Cab Drag Cabaret show, where she'll return them to you come the light of Jesus. Turns out Lucky Pierre is a hall of mirrors where gender and identity are strangers to one another. Pole dancing drag queens lip-syncing to Lady Gaga whip dollar bills from the mouths of women dressed like men who kneel before them. Through excruciating embarrassment, our host and tormentor orders us to whoop and holler like the bitches that you are. The noise of last year's most annoying charts hits. The light, louder than the noise. The fat-bottom girls the retina cannot unsee. I feel the world is no longer mine. The lights fade, this may well be it. And then, the darkness. My face rises from the table, and I see, emerging from behind the stage curtain, Elizabeth Taylor, lip-syncing to Jim Reeves. Welcome to my world, won't you come on in? Her kindly violet gaze lights a path to the entrance, now open. It is dusk. I taste my now bleeding lips as the church bells ring. The slight flutter and swish of a cape brushes my face, bringing me to my senses. The streets are empty. It is quiet, but for the menacing throb and hum of the still, warm sidewalks. Thank you very much. And thank you for the birthday wishes on behalf of my brother.
All right. And now, his dearly beloved Lucy Leegrave is going to come up here and take care of business. Is that Mike right? Sure. I got it. Like that.
Kevin always looks a bit taller than me.
Really? Okay.
And again, thank you very much for having us again here. I'd like to do 3 pieces about San Francisco and 1 about Elizabeth Taylor. She deserves it. An island. His voice quivering with Capotean intensity, he called her vulgar, and she smacked him in the face with a hard-boiled egg. Barred for life from world of charms, identity lost in a budget hotel, he is the slob who forgets what the stem on a wine glass is for. No one calls him darling anymore, but the pavements still sparkle. All the women, knife-wielding monsters, snake charmers, jump into the sea. he blames Captain Nemo. In the foam of the waves, they may frolic to pass the time, while he flirts with bears carrying the faces of owls and wonders which buttons to push. Will there be fire, music, meteorite showers, real ones, not a scoop of silver sequins scattered by a spoiled princess? Will there be North Beachcombers, idea miners, intellectual warlords waging wars for flying books, books like seagulls, books like doves, books like albatrosses? He missed out on the 60s. Now everyone wears plastic flowers in their hair. He remembers his alcoholic mother. When on holiday abroad, avoid anyone who speaks your tongue. Smiling doesn't suit him. But there's an island for everyone. This was a couple of years ago while we were here during Fleet Week. This is called Washington Square, 2:39 p.m. Turning up late for the public execution of a wayward Pomeranian, we settle with the whiners in Washington Square. Poplar trees conspire in a half-hearted circle, sheltering Franklin from the devilish rain. A cycling policeman takes our photo at gunpoint, says we look like his long-dead friends, all hats and communist smiles. Tai Chi propellers do the moonwalk with open polka dot umbrellas. After puking up 5/17 of a haiku on a virgin tile in Kerouac Alley, the part-time poet flings himself onto the grass, wailing. As an aside, you say that if I scowled long enough at something, I could write about it. I know you have your own fleet of demons to exercise, but last night I slept in an airing cupboard, wrapped in gin-soaked sheets, curled up like a mummified embryo. Today, at 2:39 p.m. in Washington Square, I stopped 2 flies from mating on my unwritten novel. Actually, 66% of that is actually true.
Now you got us curious.
Okay, this one is was inspired by someone we saw at the Café Trieste. He looked just like the dude from The Big Lebowski. Tumbleweed hair, dirty snowbeard, shades blacker than crows, white Russians fit for a king. Holding court to a one-legged pigeon behind him, sun-bleached sepia faces smile, gawp and frown off the wall. An old gent genuflects by the cake display, the dude gives absolution. He's the great watched one, giving serendipity a better name. He's the first thing a heathen sees stumbling from cathedrals into the sun. He's the last real beauty of our time, like late-night shopping, arthritic patch-eyed dogs, silenced accordions, a wall covered in dead faces. And this is the last one. It's dedicated to Elizabeth Taylor, specifically her hair. Boom. She looks like the dead time, the unpronounceable myth, butterfly penises invisible to the naked eye, housed in cigar boxes. Pink inlays, virgin lungs, ink indexed, clearly a labor of love. The malign brunette, who's never learned when to begin undressing, could not compete with a honey blonde wife stroking a kitten on the mantelpiece. What man in his right mind would leave that lady and that kitten for a pilled and champagne-less Taylor lookalike who had to give her hairdo back to his wife? For that babe in the wood, the mahogany bed unbridled, and during the day mistreated as lifeboat. The hours in between are tiring. She fails at silence. Drag queen's eyes are sharper, but more unforgiving, reducing her to a mere cipher in the land of kitsch and good bad taste, in a world where all wallpaper is a movie. And all men smell faintly of diamonds, the morgue scent of diamonds, old men and their mothballs. Her own scowls keep her awake at night. Also heat waves, the cat's tail twitch, sweat puddles, white noise. She sighs, but the city is neon, neutral, no chance to spend her $1 million beauty here. A bang from the sunset gun welcomes the vultures. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry that usually when the beeper gets close, I'm paying attention to it, but I get distracted. Garrett Murphy before our mini feature for the evening, Wendy Walters. So Garrett, come on up here. Give him a nice round of applause. All right.
Yes, Nolan. Well, they say Nolan.
Please. Thank you. All right.
Bologna for sale. Obama's been in the Kool-Aid again. The blue line's been shedding crocodile tears, playing sad songs on the millimeter vials about how they're now stalked by those they've long stalked. So he signs into law and Amber Alert for cops. Amber Alert for cops. Trust every oppressor to project themselves as victim as soon as they're exposed for what they perpetrated. We all know what the real victims would call this one. One would think if the lines wanted to hear salami, salami, bologna, they'd have enough sense to visit the corner meat market. Only problem is they'd have to blurt it out themselves, and that would mean exposing their own hyperbole, especially with the bologna. Or where are their mules for a red alert for the rogues among their bunch, or a missing alert for their own common sense? Check, please don't. Okay, your state ID, check. Your driver's license, check. Photo ID, check. Vehicle registration, check. Birth certificate, check. Passport, check. Marriage certificate, check. Doctor's verification, check. Power of attorney, check. High school diploma, check. Middle school diploma, check. Elementary school diploma, check. Proof of residential living for the last 20 years, check. Military honorable discharge, check. Proof of mental competency, check. All this stuff just to obtain a gun? Gun? What gun? This is the voter registration line. The gun owner's registration is planned expressly. The button with fast track processing. No waiting there, not ever.
Not ever.
In prison outside a cell. Let's talk about a special kind of prison, one that's so insidious most inmates don't know that they're in it, or know that they are their own correction officers. One's eyes and ears are more oblivious of their sentence than they would be to their own surroundings. The local color of the inmates and the language is as ripe as one might expect from a more obvious can. This is a jail that will never be a lockup, nor will it ever confuse orange with black. It is tighter than the most maximum insecurities, and yet can be broken free from the mildest of ease. So come on, all you inmates, ease your way back to the outside world and get off that there cell phone.
Garrett Murphy. Our closer for the evening is my wife, Wendy. She's the mini teacher. She's going to come up here and give us a nice set of poems. And then we'll take care of all the door prizes, which I'll introduce to you subsequent to her performance. Wendy Walters, please.
Come, whoever you are. This caravan is not one of despair. Come, whoever you are. This caravan is not one of despair. Even though you have broken your vow 10,000 times, come again. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, come. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, come. Whoever you are.
I always like to remember those words of Jalaluddin Rumi when I feel really down. So
every year, in honor of each new season, I spend as much time as I can during the day in quietude. And it was a little challenging today because I had 2 appointments. But I worked a little bit on this poemette I wrote a while ago about the elements of life. It's called Ode to the Elements. Thank you, Earth, for substance and form. Thank you, water, for movement and change. Thank you, fire, for creation of energy. Thank you, air, for the space within things. Thank you, ether, whatever you are, wherever you are, for your subtle power, your presence. Soul stirrings. The pain of the heart, my heart, our heart, cries out for the mirror of its longing. Wait! Stop! Before the rush to judgment, imagine the innocence of your original nature. I had it typed and then I edited it again, so it's not typed now. Presence. I know it is here, between the words, within a sigh, moving through life's flow of living moments. Presence, a whisper, becoming an infinite love. It knows I am here, even when I forget, and think it is over there, somewhere else. Sometimes it ruffles my feathers, just enough to wake me up to right now. I am learning to allow presence, despite paradoxes, awkward gaps, things that don't fit. How can I do other than let beauty's timelessness and love's unity remain a mystery? So every now and then, Dan and I go out stargazing and looking at the stars and looking at the different constellations and at the moon. So I decided to share some poems I wrote about the night sky. Night sky. It was late, and I welcomed the sleep to come. Yet one final ritual remained to be fulfilled. Approaching the window, I pulled the curtains aside for a peek at the sky. The dark night was splashed with creamy wafts of clouds, as if a painter had brushed the canvas in wild abandon. I sighed in awe of nature's rich palette of beauty as my breath deepened with the fresh, cool air. On another evening, a panorama of bright stars scattered the night sky. Could I count them all? No, never. Too many. For I was about to fall asleep and join them in my dreams. And the moon is kind of special to me. I've always felt entranced by the moon. I don't know why. It sounds kind of corny, but I just have. And about 2007, I was walking around Stowe Lake, gazing at the moon as it was getting dark, and all of a sudden it just came to me, my purpose in life, just the moon, like the moon talking to me. And So it's always been even more special to me. Moon, dear moon, how I love you. Every night, shining luminously, your calm, quiet, radiant moonness. I always feel so much better when I see you. Moon, dear moon, washing every cell and tissue of my body. You draw out and up my thoughts and then to soaring depths my heart, deep at the center of my being. There is your moon love bubbling. I receive your beauty, so smooth, enveloping me. Pure white light, delicious hope, bright goodness. Moon, dear moon, sometimes when I am with you and you with me, there come such tears of joy. This poem was just written one day when I just felt full of wonderment at how fast change happens constantly. The unexpected, things not coming out the way I thought they would, someone saying something unusual, and it just hit me that there are just millions of worlds. It's not just this world that we see. What are these worlds we pass through each day? The spaces and places, the things and the thoughts, the experience of our senses that baffles our minds as we move through these realms without words to explain. Is there a coming together, a connection, some great meaning to be found? Is there a pattern lending clues to life's strange journey? Something more than just a mystery of encounters and events? We're in a world right here and now, not a world that's ever been or yet to be. What is this world? Where from? Where to? Who knows? Who knows? But every wind that surely blows, every fact or fantasy must have a tale, a secret tale to be told. What are these worlds we pass through each day? The spaces and places, the things and the thoughts, the experience of our senses that baffles our minds as we move through these realms without words to explain. And yet, there are the quiet listeners who listen to the silent soul, the soul that hears this heart so deep, the ones not caught still in some sleep. Perhaps they know.
Now, let me introduce you to the door prizes of the evening. Would you be so kind as to shuffle these without looking at them? When you signed in, there was a number next to your name, and the cards have numbers. Once they're shuffled, that allows me to randomly select people who can select such door prizes as taking the war out of words. Now, this, I don't, who did you bring this?
No, I found it, and
Okay.
that was a book that, for those of you especially that have hung around the East Bay, if you're familiar with a guy named Paradise the Poet,
Okay.
he very strongly recommended that book about a year ago,
Okay.
and it gave me some new insights into constructive communication. I really enjoyed it.
Everybody, guys, I didn't know. The English Patient, if you've seen the movie, now you can read the book. Raymond Carver's essays, poems, and stories. I haven't had a chance to read this, but I've heard of him, so there must be something to that. Philip Zimmerman brought this, Hollywood Babylon, just to give you an idea of what the book is about. You can see from the pictures and illustrations, it's about Hollywood, stories, people, things about movies. I think I would highly recommend that. And then there's Glenda by John Gardner. So if you know about Grendel, then you have an appreciation for this. And if you're coming next week, you can pick the mini feature or the keynote. Wendy just did a mini feature, and then Hal Robbins kicked off the evening by doing a keynote. So the cards are shuffled by this lovely individual here. I will now call for a drum roll from those people that know what I mean. And this evening, Karen Hoff is a winner of this evening. One of these fine prizes. Karen. Okay, show me that card whenever I'll put your name there. So she has to take, show,
you want the code back.
I know, but, okay, I just gotta remember it's you. Drum roll, please! Get my glasses for this. Lucy Lee Gray. Any one of these plain prizes are yours. Wait a minute, that's not even a British accent.
Lots of pictures of it.
You don't want this.
No, I don't want that. It's not mine. And then they'll tax her at the airport.
I took a ribbon call.
Okay, well, seriously. Thank you so much. I'm glad. I hope you're as pleased with that as I wish I would be had I had a chance. And David Erdereich. Kommen Sie hier, bitte. Oh, someone already took it. So you want to take the mini? Okay, we got the mini and that. Don't let me forget who did that. So that means he's coming back and he's going to like unload. Mr. Buford Bunton.
Really good.
He takes Grendel. And Hal. Any one of these fine prizes are already yours. Your rice is cooked from the beginning. Oh, he goes for the holiday. I thought he'd go. And Lewis, you have two choices.
English patient. Take the English patient. Take a war of words.
I don't deserve anything.
Oh,
please. You're a winner.
I have too much already.
Oh, okay, all right. That's a different
Thank you,
issue. All right.
he's a man of wealth.
They are.
Steve Anderson. Did he go? I think he went.
Did he go? His
Yeah, I
bag
think
is
the guy with the jokes.
Oh, his bag is His bag is.
His bag is still here? Oh.
Maybe he's got that.
Well, I'm going to take this next prize, and then Steve will have the opportunity to take what the other prize if he so says.
Yeah.
So Garrett Murphy,
Oh,
you're the next winner of this evening. Either of these fine prizes, designed with your mind in mind, is yours. Oh, he goes for that. Thank you. So this, I'm going to save this for Steve when he comes back if he wants it. Next week, we have the Haight-Ashbury Literary Journal as the feature. And the person, Gerardo...
Is he going to be here?
He's going to be he's going to be on the mic for 10 or 12 minutes, depending on what they've arranged.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good evening. And then we have...
Clara's in it.
Yeah, Clara, I'm hoping that a bunch of those people...
Greg is in it.
Yeah. And you are the... And then... Who was the... Aaron Reich. Is
Is she going to be here?
who?
David Erder.
Karen?
Yeah.
Karen will be here.
No, the other one. David Erder.
Oh, Erdreich.
Yeah, I have the name wrong.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed this evening as much as I have. Same bat time, same bat station, 7 p.m. next Wednesday. Haight-Ashbury Literary Arts Journal. Gerardo Pacheco has made one of the main presenters, and there'll be different things here, and I hope a lot of people here, if you're here, we look forward to that. Thank you very much. My brother thanks you. My brother's best friend's cousin's uncle's second neighbor on the left-hand side thanks you.
Oh, you want a prize?
She's much
I'm going to take this if you would like. Yes, you were not here when we called that up, so there you go. Thank you very much. Thank you out there on the web. I hope you like this.
I've noticed.
Wait a minute, let me get my good side.
There we go. Schmooze if you like, please, and be as kind to each other as you can, because there's not enough kindness to go on.
Yes, dude? Oh, and there are still books for sale, sorry. I kicked the old mic. There are still books for sale, so please, she will be here.
And I will be here, and I will stop and get off the mic and be quiet now. Huh? And one CD, which is a worthwhile consideration. So thank you very much. Enjoy yourself. Give yourself one round of applause for being here and being as patient as possibly can be for someone like me.
Thank you so much. I got to put those names in here before I forget. Oh, the email list is right here, and also the calendar. Thank you. And I have this one. So in case there's a question.
Music's not that, you know, which side would it be?
Right, because I wanted one of the old ones by I wanted, let's say I had money to do it.